congratulations, 60 years, what an incredible milestone.
Well, it's remarkable when we think back to how all this started, back in late 1962. We were just having so much fun. Unfortunately, the music that we liked together and the voices that matched each other and blended beautifully with Judith's beautiful lead just took us on an amazing path, magic carpet ride, if you like. And the wonderful thing about it now, it's down to the longevity and the beauty of the music that fortunately, came out of our musical feelings and the creativity of people like Tom Springfield with all those great hits, and lots of other artists whose songs we picked up along the way. In fact, I think we stole Puff the Magic Dragon for a while. we were acclaimed as having done that at one stage of the game, which we had to correct. And then Bruce, of course, started writing. So I've always said along the line, you could never manufacture anything that ever happened to us. We just seemed to be blessed at every turn of the road. Of course, lately losing Judith was not the blessing we were looking for coming up to our 60s. So it's a highly nostalgic celebration. Nevertheless, it is a celebration. Hitting that mark is important for a whole heap of reasons and just makes us all together still stronger. And we've been backed up beautifully by Universal Music, who've always loved our music. And just want to keep putting out everything we can find in our filing cabinets and in the bottom drawers. It's amazing what we have found. I think we're due to release another Hidden Treasures set of mystery objects next year, but this time around, of course, it's Carry Me, the 60 songs for 60 years, and Carry Me was found in a filing cabinet. It had been recorded as a lead song by Judith way back in 1995. And suddenly our historian, Graham Simpson, found it. And it was just her lead. And I said to the boys, wow, gosh, this was a song absolutely, tailor-made for us. And of course, Bruce had written it for a dear friend of his who had been very unwell and had passed away, and the family wanted a song for his funeral. And Carry Me became a beautiful tribute from us when we'd added our voices and some more instruments to that basic track when we did Judith's memorial.
You mentioned that you might release some new material. How will you go on without Judith? How will you remember her?
The dear girl in so many ways is still with us all, and no different to any other family, I guess, when you lose one of your treasured members. And so many things are still happening to us that involve her. So it sort of helps in that sense. We're all very aware of Judith's spirituality and her beliefs, and I reckon she's there. I'm 100% sure, and she'll be with us as we work through the 60 years in a slightly different format. But she'll be, because she was in on all the discussions, obviously, read the packaging of this particular album. We all had our choices of the songs and worked out eventually what the final 60 should be. And of course, I'd had a few discussions with her about the final recording of Carry Me. So she was right up to speed with everything that was being planned, and nothing added on. And fortunately, that's why she's really, really so much part of what we're about to do.
Well, take me back to those early days. You were one of the very first Australian bands to dominate the world charts.
Oh, that was as much fun.
It's really very hard to believe about Athol Guy and Keith Potger. These are two guys who have been very close to together for a very long time, from the Seekers group, together with Bruce and Judith Durham, but of course these two have only been sat together only once in front of an audience, and reminisced about their lives as best friends and singing buddies. But of course they've known each other for so many years, just I think close to 65 years, and have had separate career paths at times, but most people know them as founding members of the Seekers. Recently they sat together, and of course they've been conducting a couple of interviews here and there, commemorating and of course paying tribute to Judith Durham, another close member of their group, the Seekers, who passed on in 2022 on 5th August, of course 2022. So the Australian musician Judith Durham was best known as the lead singer of the folk music group The Seekers. She passed on at the age of 79, and her band actually sold more than 50 million records, and they've had hits including I'll Never Find Another You, Australian, and Georgy Girl. She left the group to go solo in 1968 and went on to release a number of studio albums, and of course she was laid to rest in 2022. I gave you a couple of videos during that time. She was the voice of a new stand identity that helped actually blaze a trail for a new generation of Aussie artists and of course musicians. Her kindness will be always missed by so many people, and the anthems she gave to the nation, she gave to the world, will never be forgotten. Durham was honored multiple times during her lengthy career, including being awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia, for services to music. I think that was in 1995, and of course the Centenary Medal in 2003. She was also named the Victorian of the Year in 2015, and we all know she was born in Melbourne, rose to international fame after joining the Seekers in 1962 alongside Athol Guy, Potger, Bruce Woodley, and of course she became the band's lead singer the following year, aged 20. You are still praying for the family, friends, the fans, and all the guys actually who love the Seekers band. Rest in power, Judith.